a spoon bowl with just a knife. And this is not the best wood to be carving in because the wood grain is so, well, it's just not very good carving wood. It's all yellow pine. Now, this is just an average size knife, 4-inch blade. Okay? Could you do the same thing with a large blade? The difference is you have to hold the knife different. You have to move your center point up closer to the edge. Okay? And yes, you can carve a bowl with a knife. Okay? See there? So, I want to talk about large blades versus small blades. Now, there are some things that a large blade will do that a small blade will not do as easily. It will do it, but a large blade is easier to use doing it. If you wanted to cut clear brush for, say, your camp, then a larger blade is easier to use than a smaller blade to do that. Will a small blade do it? Sure it will. My point being that it doesn't matter the size of the knife. It depends on if you know how to use the knife or not. Now, using a large blade is different than using a small blade because the center point of gravity is different on a large blade. Now, even large blades, you have to handle this knife different than this knife because of the weight of the blade. You can choke up on this one to where the center point of the knife, the balance of the knife, is closer to your hand. This one, if you choke up on it as far as you can, the center point is still over here, so the balance is off. You say, does the balance make any difference? Well, yes, it does. If you use this knife enough, then you'll start feeling your muscles tiring in your arm. And once you have tired muscles, you're more likely to hurt yourself. Because tired muscles is equal to weak muscles. Weak muscles will sometimes have the blade going somewhere that it shouldn't be going. Is a large blade as safe as a small blade? Well, not really, because you have more surface that's going to cut you. Okay? So, a large blade is not as safe as a small blade is. I wouldn't give this knife with this length of blade to a young person who's not familiar with knives. I wouldn't do it. If a beginner goes out and starts using this knife, then there are some words of caution that I want to tell them. This knife will hurt you and hurt you bad. A lot worse than this knife will. This knife is going to cut you. This knife will cut a finger off. Okay? So if you're using this knife, you have to slow down. You have to think about each cut. You have to think about the grip of the knife. You have to think a lot more using a large knife than you do a small knife. Okay? Now, me personally, I love large blades. I think that, but I'm used to using large blades. If you're not used to using large blades, then I wouldn't recommend you just taking a large blade with you into camp. You need to have a backup of a smaller blade. If you want to get used to using a large blade, then that's fine. Take it slow. Because again, these knives, there's more surface area. They will hurt you and hurt you bad. Alright? Just some thoughts and some words from me. And I hope they helped you. I think that there's a place for large blades. I love large blades. Matter of fact, if you see me on a camp somewhere, I will have a large knife with me, either on my person or in my pack. But in theory, if you have an axe with you, you really don't need a large blade. But then again, if you have an axe with you, you don't need a knife at all. So it depends on what you want to use, what kit you want to use, how you want to use it. The key is to learn how to use your kit. Use whatever you want to use. Just remember that the larger blades is more likely to hurt you because of muscle fatigue and lack of experience than a smaller blade is. So if you're just starting out, get you a small blade, then work up to the large blade. Well, I hope this video was beneficial to you. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you understand the points I was trying to get across with a large knife. It was a knife like this that got me as the worst that a knife has ever gotten me. And right here, I don't know if you can see the scar or not, but basically it hit me just below the knuckle and sliced all the way down, just filleted it right off the bone. If it would have got me on the knuckle, I would have lost that finger. Even today, this finger is still numb. And it was a large knife that did it. So let that be a word of caution to you guys out there. You're going to get cut. If you play with knives, you're going to get cut. It's just a law of averages. If you play with them enough, it's going to happen. So be very careful with the large bladed knives, because they will not only cut you, they will maim you. They could have very easily lost that finger. And how it happened was I was trying to cut something out here. I was not paying attention to where the balance was. If I had been cutting something up here, it wouldn't have hurt me near as bad. Okay? But this hand got in the way of this blade, and the balance of it and the weight of the blade is what hurt me the most. Okay? And that's the reason large knives are more dangerous than smaller knives, is because of the weight and the balance, muscle fatigue, all of that goes into it. And also you have to use the big knife different than you do a smaller knife. So when you're learning to use a big knife, be extremely careful, take it slow. If you get tired, stop, rest, and do not use it again until your muscles recuperate. Okay? That is my advice, my 2 cents. Hope it was worth it. So until the next one, take plenty of band-aids, and, well, big band-aids if you're going to use a big knife, and a smaller knife if you're going to use a big knife. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.